Welcome to Season 3 of the Casual Camping Podcast, your home for the best camping discussion both in and out of the field. Here are your hosts, Tim and Ade.
Hello and welcome back to another Casual Camping Podcast. Thanks for joining us. Today your host will be none other than myself, Ade.
And me, Tim. Gosh.
Yay! There's a surprise for everyone.
No one saw that one coming.
I always like to mix it up, Tim. You know what we said last week? I'm mischievous.
Get on the mischievous step, Ed. When I'm doing the socials, I often mix it up just to mix it up a bit and go, Tim and Ade did this, and sometimes it's Ed and Tim. Whoa! It's like I'm off the leash.
You hold yourself back. You know what they say, Tim? No drinking in socials. It's not a good combination.
And then it said, no.
Oh dear. Yes. The brotherly gripes come out then.
It's like when you throw a potato in my ear.
Oh, well, if I wasn't feeling this way, I'd have posted this picture of him looking nice. But now he's going to have his mouth open, stuffing food into it.
There's a lot of that goes on.
I've noticed.
It's hard to get a picture of you without stuffing food in it. Joking. Joking, honest, I'm joking.
Oh, that was too close, Tim. That's smartied. Ooh, just fancy some Smarties.
I know. I haven't eaten yet today. I could eat a leg of lamb right now. I'm quite hungry.
Who couldn't? Just off the bone, caveman style.
Oh. Do you know what I could eat? I absolutely could eat a lasagna made out in the field.
You know who? I know what you're referring to there, and who you have to bring along on that camping trip.
I know. That would be Tom from Off the Beaten Pot, who we managed to meet up with in the real world, in person at the weekend, and he cooked a lasagna in a mess tin. I mean, you saw him. You were standing there watching it live. What was it like?
It was absolutely incredible. Yeah, just to, when he said lasagna, I was expecting, bits and pieces to come out of bags and stuff. No, that wasn't the case. There was a lot of rest in the food in order for the pasta to sort of take up some of the juices. But the one thing that going to a show actually teaches you is the smells. I actually seen somebody do it right there. So I think he was quite brave to be doing that, but he looked like a natural. So yeah. Really, really pleased to meet up and see him in action. My God, he talks the talk.
He's a legend. So he's a friend of the show, and if you haven't listened to the episode, go back and find it. We did a great interview with Tom from Off the Beaten Pot, and obviously this week's episode is all about. We went to the Outdoor Expo at the NEC, and Tom was on stage cooking, which was just an epic thing to see him in the real world, have a bit of a chat with him, and see him do some cooking. But
And he gave me some stickers as well. Yay!
You love a sticker, don't you?
It's gone on my shed. I'm going to take a picture. So, Hall of Fame is my shed. That shed, I was going to say 20, 30 years time, but who knows whether I'll make that, fingers crossed. I live life fast and hard, Tim.
You do.
In my comfortable tent.
in your comfortable trousers.
Plastic wastes. It's the secret. Secret nobody tells a 22-year-old. I've only got one pair, okay? Let me have it. But yeah, that'll be worth something, you know. National Trust will buy that up and just have people walking down the side of my house. You want to see Ade's shed?
Didn't they do that with Roald Dahl's shed? Didn't he write all the books in his shed? And
why, thank you for the comparison, Tim. Yes.
I'm sure his shed is in a museum somewhere and it's like set up for it all because he wrote all those books there. Yeah, your shed will be similar. Your shed will be similar.
Thanks.
Maybe
I can dream.
Maybe one day my garage mezzanine will feature somewhere.
A bit like the Beatles' house.
Yeah. This is where Tim gets all his stuff.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Anyway, surprise, we've digressed quite quickly there.
Have we? We never do that.
Oh, never do that. Yeah, so we were at the National Outdoor Expo at the NEC in Birmingham in the UK. So sorry for our North American listeners and those people joining us around the world. But I think it's a good opportunity to say, you know, there must be outdoor shows in your countries. Try and get to them if you can do, because, yeah. One, we got to meet up with some incredible people talking about their stuff, their knowledge of what they do. But we also got to meet some of our friends as well.
Yeah, we did. And that's what's lovely is actually we you know, we go to a lot of shows. We go to as many as we can get to because they're great things to go to because you see loads of stuff. But what's really lovely at this point in our journey, in the fact that we've been doing this and we're now in our third season, is people do turn up. And, you know, we've met a number of listeners at different things now, and some of which, you know, I'd like to consider them friends. It's they're good people, and it's really great to wander around these shows and kind of bump into these people or make pre-arrangements. What really blew me away was there was a couple of people who I've never met before, didn't know who they were, who stopped me and went, "Oh, I listened to the show, it's great." And it's like, oh my God, that's like really, it just blows my mind. Blows my mind that people do that.
Yeah, we're going to need security.
We're going to need a minder.
Well, we've got the fixer.
We have got the fixer.
Shout out to Mr. Richard Marples. You are now the fixer. He got his name while we were walking round. So, yes.
Yeah.
It's a very apt name.
Yeah. Boom, chicka, boom, boom, chicka, boom, boom. He's got his own little theme music too.
You know, the secret to that wah wah little tune that you did there, we're not allowed to do tunes, Tim. So,
oh, yeah. Sorry.
You know, the copyright people will have a word with you, and just sing to yourself now, "White Chicken, White Cow." It's the same thing. There's no copyright on that.
Chicken, white cow. That's amazing.
You do it quick enough. White chicken, white cow.
I'm not sure it works with a Yorkshire stylie.
The Yorkshire drawl, like slang it.
White chicken, white cow.
Hey, by gum, I say.
White whippet, white cow.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Yes.
I've only had a cup of tea today. I've only had a cup of tea. I think my blood sugars are a bit low.
Yeah, we learned from a couple of weeks ago to not drink when we record these things. So there's nothing against it, but you know, it's 11 o'clock when we're doing this now. That'd be wrong.
That'd be right. 11 a.m. I think it was probably 11 p.m. when we were recording that one,
yeah,
and we had been on the sauce for a bit, but we are sober and free. I had a great show. I thought it was. I thought it was bigger than last year. We went to last year's show, and I thought there was more there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd agree.
I think I have one tiny little gripe, and although there was more there, they seem to have squashed us into a smaller space, and it was in a massive hall at the NEC. These exhibition centres, wherever they are in the world, everybody knows they're absolutely huge. They
Yeah.
kind of partitioned off half of the hall.
Yeah, it
And
was incredible, really, wasn't it?
and squashed you right in. So it was a challenge getting round it all. And to the organisers, if they'd have just spread it out just a little bit more, then people
Yeah.
could have got round it a lot more and spent a bit more time on each stall rather than feeling like, oh gosh, if I want to stop here and look at this,
Yeah.
I'm causing a bottleneck. But
Well, there was
a
a
tiny gripe, teeny tiny gripe.
yeah. There was 8 of us in our group, and surely from a retailer's point of view, because people are there, they're selling, they've got their wares out, they're not just promoting stuff. They want people to stop, browse, look, chat, all of those things. And that morning certainly was just rammed.
It was mental, wasn't it?
You had to go with the crowd. You couldn't. There was a couple of stalls I didn't stop at because we were in the flow, and it was like, right, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the other thing, so that I think is definitely a little gripe. They could have given more space to other things. The food was better though this year.
Yeah.
It was only like cafe kind of stuff last year, and there was a gyros stand. There was quite a lot of.
There was a Greek thing. There was a lot more food, which was.
So yeah, I was pleased that there was some lovely, nicer food. And there's still areas to break out in. We had a few coffees and stuff. It was just what a lovely environment. I was there for 7 hours, I think.
Yeah, you were there a lot longer than me. I was flagging a bit because I was a little bit ropey because I'd been out the night before watching a band, and I was a little bit delicate, shall we say?
Yeah. But yeah, I stayed along, and I was glad I had because. I got to speak to some more people. I got to see Tom Cook, which was great. I got to speak to the guys at Wild.
Camp Wild?
Camp Wild. I always get I nearly go Wild Camp, but yes, Camp Wild. And just really great to see. We saw them a year ago at the same show, and I think they were, just starting to sort of hit their stride, and they're doing some great stuff. So shout out to them, and if you would like to know what they're doing, just put that into your internet browser and go see what they're doing, because it's certainly something up our street, and something that we're doing as well.
We might be doing something later in the year with those guys, because it was really nice to talk to them, and we're going to see if we can do a bit of a hookup thing, really, because as you say, the way they go camping and the way that they're sort of setting things up is definitely our ethos of a chilled out camping experience.
Yeah, without people on site telling you that you've got to camp their way. Which I think is, maybe it's just as I'm getting older, Tim, but I'm considerate. I'm quite I'm not the wildest mischievous tool in the box, but I can be. There are those.
You can be.
Well, it's not for me to say, is it? Really? I think every time we've been camping with anybody that listens to the show in the last 2 things, you've stayed up longer than I have.
Yes, I have. It's I don't go wild unless there's rum around. I don't go wild either. It's we just have a good time. We just have a good time camping. I was really impressed with there was more sort of talking areas this year. So last year there was like a main stage and then a like a skills stage. Whereas here there was the main stage, a skills stage. There was a couple of cooking areas, and then there was like a skills bushcraft area as well. And it just felt like there was more sort of imparting knowledge for free rather than it just be an all out blatant sell stuff to people. And obviously, as you say, all the stalls are there to sell and to promote their stuff. but actually, it's nice to walk around these things and actually gain a bit of knowledge, and there was definitely more of that this year, which is a big thumbs up from me. I'm going to do a Zoom thumbs up. There you go. Look at that. It's
Woo!
done it in the virtual world as well. It's
Got a little thought bubble of Tim doing thumbs up. Mine doesn't do that.
Does it not? No, you just look special.
I'm quite special.
Oh.
Yeah, so we also bumped into the guys at the Bushcraft show. So Kerry and David.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I think I'd left by then, so I didn't meet them. I knew they were coming, but I didn't bump into them.
Well, we met them there last year, and they're just on the countdown to the Bushcraft show coming up in May.
Yeah, bank holiday at the end of May, isn't it?
Oh, they must be so busy, but yeah, just great. So I think there's some early bird tickets out there. So if anybody does want to go along, yeah, that's coming up. If you love shows, you love bushcraft, or you even want to get into it, there's some really nice things there. And a lot of, we've said it time and time again, but similar, same-minded people of the community that like camping, doing all those other things. Actually, it's great to just be in a field with similar-minded people who are just really nice to be around.
Yeah. It was great. It was a bushcraft show last year. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a lot of days camping in a field, like you say, surrounded by people who are like-minded and respectful, and
they entertained very well.
Yeah.
The shows, the talks, the guest appearances. There's more of the same, and probably a lot more, as well as some really great knife stalls. How many great knife stalls were there, Tim?
Oh God, there was some very nice, nice tools, on display.
We're not talking about you and me, Tim.
Hey, I sets him up, he knocks me down.
And one of the highlights for the show as well for me was finding a new axe that I want.
Yeah, now you're back on the Outdoor Expo, aren't you? Not the Bushcraft show. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I've just
Thanks for keeping us on track.
It's all right. It's my job. That's my job. It's yeah, I've literally just picked up the business card from Sam at Thornwood Forge. And,
when you lucky enough to get the badge that he gave me. Oh, yeah.
Well, he did. I gave him a sticker, and he very quickly went and got a badge, and you very quickly just took it off him. So I didn't have the opportunity to get the badge, Eddie.
Snatchy, 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 snatchy. When I said mischievous, I'm also snatchy.
Yeah, that's why you got a deadliest snatch box. But anyway, Joe and Sam from Thornwood Forge they actually had a full working forge there, and what was funny and also incredible in equal measure was they were setting up, and Joe had realised that he'd left his fire tongs at home, so the first thing he made on the forge was some fire tongs. And it's just like, wow, all right. You're someone we need to know.
You have forge, will travel, can make what you need.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Epic. Absolutely epic.
Well, I mean, I've been there. I mean, I lose my tongs all the time.
Yeah, but do you make your own air?
I don't. No. I've littered the countryside with, and it's not a leave no trace kind of thing. It's, oh shit, I've forgotten that. So I'm hoping that, there's a nice pair of brass tongs somewhere in a woodland that somebody's going to come across and go, these are mine, and they're excellent.
No, but they were doing something really quite lovely with axes, weren't they? The axes they make are really quite special, and again, really nice to talk to them and make contact.
Get their story, because local people making excellent stuff. And you know me, I've got a Granfer's Burke's axe.
Yes.
Probably murdered the pronunciation of that very famous Swedish company that have been going for...
Blurdy, girdy, beardy.
That's a little bit more like it.
Sorry, anyone from Scandinavia. We do have listeners in Scandinavia. I am so
We're
sorry.
joking. We're joking.
I grew up watching oh gosh, I've forgotten it. Muppet Show. It's the Swedish chef, isn't it, from the Muppet
Yeah.
Flurdy-boo, flurdy-boo. I just imagine him with axes now.
Yeah. A Rambo style.
Yes.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, so I was talking to somebody who was selling axes, and I wanted to price up a splitting axe because, the heart wants what the heart wants. And he was going, yeah, the Granvers and stuff. Oh, yeah, you've got this, and gave us some prices. He went, yeah, but our kind of now favourite axes are these Thornwood Forge. And I was like, oh, they are nice.
They're lovely.
And then he went, and those are, and I turned around and the forge was just there and he was making stuff, banging hammers and stuff on an anvil. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
And then we went over and looked at their stuff, really, really nicely well made. And I never really thought about it in the past, but obviously the brands that are there and known, and anybody that has some real success has to look about how they make stuff. And if they're making 20,000 axes in a year, it's less about handmade and more about getting them out there. That's no criticism by any means, but it did make me think, I'd prefer to be buying off somebody at a local place that are making, 100 axes in a month rather than, thousands.
What I loved about them was every single one is numbered, and every single one is because it is so handmade. It's really unique, and it's got an individual sort of patina to it, and when you kind of held it in your hand, it just it just felt like a crafted tool rather than something that was mass produced, and I don't know, just really, really nice, guys down in Somerset making stuff, and that's what we're all about. It's about local producers, making really good quality pieces of kit. And again, they what was amazing is they've got a woodland aid, and they've said, why don't we get in touch, and we could go down and camp in their woods and see them make some axes. So I'm all over that. That's going to be amazing.
The next stalking project, engage, Tim. Engage. Make it so number one. He hit the trivector of it. He makes something that's sharp and pointy, has woodlands, and invited us down. What?
That's amazing.
You said it. Don't be scared if you are listening. They're not listening, are they?
They're not listening.
They're in the shed making axes.
And he did say to us, we could go down and we could do some deer stalking if you're into that. I'm thinking that's the last thing you want Ade and I doing with you. It's like I was going, look at that one.
We've got to sit here quietly for a bit.
Yeah,
that was a bit. I don't think I can sit down any longer. Why are we being quiet? Tell me about this.
Our ADHD will just totally come out.
That was named after me.
Oh, that's quick. Oh, God.
Oh, dear. But yeah, so... as we've said before, we're not sponsored.
No.
It gives us that little bit of We like to maybe call it integrity, or I don't know what you'd call it, but it does mean that actually we do talk about and we want to promote sort of independent brands as well as bigger brands, and stuff that we like. We want to be honest, and we hope that that we will be. So
it's about shouting out quality gear, and whether that's a mass produced piece of kit or whether that's an artisan piece of kit. If we like it and we think it's a quality piece of gear, then we're going to shout it out. We're, as you say, we're not sponsored. We're not paid partnerships or anything like that. We just come across, in our travels and our journeys, we come across really cool people who are doing some really cool stuff, and it's really nice to kind of shout out and go, look at these people. These people are doing good things, and Thornwood Forge, they're doing really good things.
Yeah, they really are. And I think just to reiterate that, I come at it from a consumer user point of view. Things that either take my eye that, just that are either different or will make my camping experience better or whatever. I'm a consumer. I'm a fully pledged marketer's dream. If you, put a different colorway on something, like the Yeti King Crab color for my little loadout box 15, then you know what? I was like, yes. How did I ever survive camping without it? So I come at it from a user, a want it, whatever those things are. There are people out there that are probably tutting at me as you listen, going, "Oh, hey, but that's it. We're all different. We all do certain things. I'm immensely surprised. I think between the two of us, I spend a bit more money on things, but you, I think, hands down, get a better look, certainly a better bang for your buck when you put your tent up, set your stall out. We don't have a stall, but you know what I mean. You're camping. And, between us, we've got some incredible stuff. But isn't that the whole thing of kind of inspiring each other?
Yeah.
And things that you see on campsites, how people are doing it, what will make the next camping experience better. So
yeah, it's all about the gear. It's all about the gear. It's all about the stuff. It's all about the stuff on this show. It's
somebody did say
it's all about the ethos. It's all about the ethos.
Yeah.
But part of the ethos is go buy more stuff.
And somebody did say to me, he was like, "Oh yeah, you love your gear, don't you?" And I was like, "Oh God, my reputation precedes me."
Yeah. But actually, we've been to a few places, and we've been introduced as these are Tim and Ade for Casual Camping Podcast. They love all the stuff. They've got really good quality stuff. They've got all the toys, and then people come and have a look at all the toys, and yeah, you know what we do? We test a lot of stuff. It's we put it to the test. We buy it. We put it to the test. I then put it on my mezzanine and forget about it. You stick it on eBay and sell it. It's to buy more stuff, and off we go.
Well, there are those things that sometimes I always remember that I'd imported a wonderful tent from America. I forget which brand it was now, but it had a little window in it that you could gaze at the stars, and I'd got the footprint and everything. It was really good, and we went camping in the Lake District in winter. We went up in the hills and mountains in snow and came down, but it rained that night, and I woke up and there was a moat on the inside of my tent. I wasn't wet myself, but my airbed had kept me above the waterline. And however nice that tent was, it was just dead to me from then on, because some things just fall by the wayside, or you get something better and you don't use something. That's the good thing of, some people like to, I've got this, it's my go-to, I've had it for 20 years, I'll have it for another 20 years, it's not wearing out, it's great stuff. I've got some things like that, but
I'm
a fully signed up member of the consumer party. I'm just going to buy stuff. I might not have the money for it, but
Where there's a will, there's a way.
there always is. And, I think the other thing from the show as well is we saw some famous people or, what I consider to be famous people. So Steve Baxall
Yeah.
was doing a meet and greet.
He's always smiley, isn't he? He's
Oh, he
always
just
smiling.
is. Yeah.
He does some mental stuff though. He's always like hanging off the side of a cliff or something like that, and somewhere with some animal that would kill you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of adventurer people at the show. Also got to see Paul Messinger, who I've been watching from YouTube for a long time, and I probably did a fanboy kind of, "Hi, Paul, can I take a picture?" Which I'm sure the camping community do not do. So apologies, Paul, if you're listening.
I had left by
listening.
then. He's not there, but maybe. I'd left by then, and you sent me a picture. You sent me the picture. I was like, oh my god, that's amazing. You didn't tell me that you'd been proper fanboying.
I went over. I was like, "Hello, Paul. Can I take a picture?" And then sort of chatted to him about his little piece of land that he's recently got. Found it on Facebook. It's like a quarter of an acre for 150 quid a year.
Wow.
And he said it's a destination. It's somewhere that he goes. He said, "I just love it." And I went, "Yeah." I went straight on Facebook trying to find those places. But he said he's had people reach out to him say, "I've got a plot of land that I'd like to cut up a little bit more and do similarly." So look out there on Facebook or, do your local searches, see what comes up because, woodland's just getting too expensive for the normal people, I think.
You know that walled garden that we walked to and found, and we thought we might do some stealth camping in it. You want to talk to the farmer about, paying him something a year to have it as it's a walled garden that's gone completely wild.
Shush, Tim. No, don't give it out. What?
But that'd be an epic destination
That'd
to
be
go
a destination.
to. It's gone so wild. It's got fully grown trees and things in it now, but it is a walled garden that you kind of secret garden inside, a secret campsite inside would be really cool.
Yeah, definitely. I also met Jack from Legends Expedition. My God, that guy is adventurous, obviously, does an awful lot of trips abroad and stuff. I think somebody did mention wrestling with hippopotamus or something, but he also did a challenge to do so many 1,000 pull-ups. I was like, I didn't even think you could do above 10. As somebody that's never, I think my muscle to body weight ratio was just always precluded me from that.
That's a lovely way of not calling yourself fat.
But yeah, he was amazing, and it was really nice to see how just that community all comes together and people doing various things. But yeah, he was excellent as well. So yeah, met loads of people.
Yeah, epic. Well, I'd set us a challenge for this one. So rather than just us wandering around the show and looking at all the stuff and telling you how awesome it was, which we do that a lot. I'd set as a bit of a challenge of let's see if at the show for £500, call it $500, call it €500. It's all the same these days. It's but for 500, can you get everything to go camping in? So can you get a tent, a sleeping bag, a bed, some kind of a lights, something to cook with, all of those things. A cool box, some storage, some power. Can you get it? Can you get it all for under 500 quid? And off we trotted round to try and get stuff. It's how did you get on there, Ed? Did you do all right?
Well, can you go to a camping show? And our listeners want to know, get everything that you need to go camping. Guess what? Yes, you can, Tim. Yes, you can. Which is a relief. Otherwise, this would be a short-lived quiz. Thank God and good night. No, so yes, you can definitely. Could we get everything on your list for £500? No, not quite. And we
No.
also did a secondary little challenge of because there's some show prices and could you what would be the real kind of if you're buying it on the internet or going into shops, what would that price be? So what would your savings be? And it was really interesting because there's a lot of people that did show price.
Yeah.
And we saw some incredible discounts, of which we'll talk about. But then there were some other things that actually, even though they said show price, it wasn't the show price, and you could get it generally at that price somewhere else. So so a real mixed bag. But yeah, there was some savings, definitely.
Yeah, there were. The of my list of stuff, I've got a couple of things that had a significant saving on them, which has meant I've managed to get what I managed. I couldn't get everything off the list. I haven't got any storage and I haven't got any power. There was none of that at the show, so certainly not that I saw anyway. But I've got pretty much everything else. But because I've got a couple of items that were like massively discounted, that's brought me under the 500. But everything else has only got like little tiny bits off, little tiny bits. And actually, one of the things, you know, on that company's website, it's a little bit more. But actually, I've found something almost identical on the old Amazon that was cheaper than the show price was. So it's not always there. But actually, certainly bigger ticket items, were massively discounted. I mean, the tent I went for was a Wild Country, which is Terra Nova. People will know the name Terra Nova. Wild Country is same brand, but slightly less technical materials is probably the best way I would say it. Still epically fantastic tents, really, really good high quality tents. And I found their Panacea 1 tent, just a one-man tent, although it was quite big for a one-man tent, had a lot of headroom. It's a pitch outer first, which why is anybody doing a hiking tent that's a pitch inner first? That's ridiculous. I was talking to a couple of guys on the stall, a couple of people from not Terra Nova, but just customers, and we were having that debate about why would you do that? Why would you do a pitch inner first for a hiking tent? Loads of headroom, as I say, and retail price, that tent was £325. But at the show, it was 170, which is, brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and a great piece of kit that will live with you and go on adventures for years and years to come. But that's like my big discount piece. That had so much money off it.
Yeah, no, I think, and I don't think that there's a lot of people. We saw it in the show that we went to, and you got your cool box, the Dometic cool box that you got.
Yeah.
And they were saying, yeah, we've got some new season stuff coming out later in the year, so we're doing show prices to clear through some of these things. And there's a lot of that goes on, get rid of last year's stuff. But, if you're getting something that, you are choosing a good price over, the current kind of thing, that's kind of what you want, isn't it? So great to go to these shows. Not everybody's doing that, but it does mean that there's some new stuff coming out from some people, which is look out for those things.
Well, the guys on the Igloo stall, they were great. They had the bargain of the show. Really.
It's on my list.
Is it? Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry, I won't steal it. It's not on my list. I didn't get that one because I'd forgotten that you'd already bagged it. So we didn't get the same things. But Mr. Chaz Chasington, friend of the show, actually purchased that because it was such a good bargain. So good on you, Chaz, because that was fantastic. Sorry, I'm not supposed to say fantastic, but it was fantastic. What was it then?
On mine, it was the Igloo BMX 72. So a massive thing in a great colorway. I'm not gonna. I think it was bluey greeny, but
Yeah, I don't know. We're both colorblind.
It looked great, Chaz.
It looked great. Could be red. I don't know.
And rather misleadingly, I thought they had a RRP price of £600.
Yeah.
And then they said they had a show price of 249, which I guess is probably more realistic as to what the actual price, if you were buying it in a retailer somewhere, might have been. Who knows? But even at that, they were selling it for £100.
And even at that, they only charged Mr. Chasington 99.
99, yeah. So, absolutely, great looking cooler, massive, double handles, loads of very robust features to it, and £99. So, a massive cooler for
for a bargain, an absolute
all the
bargain.
other kit that I bought would fit into it and still leave room for beers. We were joking about our Danny DeVito measurements that you could probably fit one Danny DeVito in there. Sorry, Danny, if you're listening, it was only a joke. We're not burying you anywhere.
Please, somebody share this with Danny DeVito. Please. Yeah. I would love to be able to say it. Danny DeVito is listening. That would be great. It did have a ruler on top of it as well, and the guy from Igloo was going, "Do you know what the ruler's for?" And of course we thought, well, is that for measuring, Danny DeVito? Turns not, it's for measuring fish, but similar size. Similar size, really.
Oh, it was hilarious. We really sunk people's serious selling pitches by how many Danny DeVitos.
I found the smallest Snow Peak cup ever. It was absolutely tiny. It was like, it's Danny DeVito's camping cup.
Oh, gosh. Yes. So go on, carry on with your list. Reel them all out and tell us your end price and then what your retail might have been.
All right then. So I got the Wild Country Panacea one, the tent. Do you want me to do prices as I go, or just go through the items and give you a total?
Do key ones. Anything. I'll do
big discount. So the tent you already know. Sleeping bag. There weren't a lot of sleeping bags there. There wasn't a lot of options. So because cost was an issue, I ended up getting a Vango Mantis Planet, which is a 1-season sleeping bag. Goes from 11 degrees centigrade to 25 degrees centigrade. So you might want to wear all your clothes if it's going to be a chilly night. But it was long. It was the only one that I saw was long, and being stupidly tall, it was 205 centimeters long. So that was a good thing to get. And to sleep on, I also, again, not a lot of options there for that at the show. It's also a Vango. And it's the Comfort 7.5 Grande, also long, so that's 200 centimeters long, so I will fit on it. It's got an R value of 7.4 as well, which we talked about R values before, so the higher the R value, the more thermal properties I've got. And I thought the combination between that and a 1-season sleeping bag, because you lose most of your heat to the ground, it should make the sleeping bag perform a little bit better, because actually I won't leach so much heat to the ground.
Tim, I was in sort of desperation mode when I was like, there's not many of these. I didn't even think of anything like that. But of course, this is a camping podcast. Yes, I mean, well done. Well done. Tim's going to be warm. Ade's going to be cold.
I got a light. Well, it's like a lamp and a torch or flashlight for our North American listeners. It's a company called Bare Bones, and they had an Edison lamp and torch all in one, and it was just really cool. So it's like you can get Edison light bulbs now that look like a traditional old light bulb, but then it also had a really bright LED sort of flashlight at the end of it. Really nicely machined metal. It was just a nice thing to hold and play with. So a bit of a fidget spinner as well. I thought it was a really nice item. Was that? I got at the really cool people at Nomadia. We saw those at the big show we went to a few weeks ago. They bring a lot of sort of Korean and Japanese stuff over to the UK. They had some really, really nice things. I picked their fire pit and grill. That is the piece though. So they were selling it at £80 at the show. On their website, it's 88, so it's not much of a discount. And actually, I found the identical thing on Amazon for 50 quid. So looks very similar to your Snow Peak fire pit and grill.
Yep.
Smaller than yours, and the steel's not as thick, so it wouldn't last as long. But I thought, I had to pick something at the show, so I picked that because it's a cool thing. But you can actually get that cheaper somewhere else. So it is always worth comparing these prices. Got some really cheap pots and pans. Cool box, I went with the Igloo Sportsman 30, which, again, the Igloo stuff there was massively discounted. So retail, this was £90. And at the show, it was £40. So I managed to get all of my stuff for £459.97. Retail would have been £707. So, saved nearly 250 quid. That's yes, it is worth going to a show. If you're going and you wanna set yourself up, absolutely, you can go there and you can buy every mortal thing pretty much that you need, and you can get yourself camping there cheaper than you would if you'd have gone on the high street or online.
Yeah. Right, my turn. So
go for it.
I'm going to go for it. Right. I went with the Van Gogh Helvellyn 200, 159 quid. Sleeping bag.
That was a beautiful tent.
The Van Gogh Atlas 250. That was £32. Bed there had a little Trek Shorty Van Gogh Trek Air thing. Didn't look at the Arvo.
You've had one of those before, haven't you? Is that the short one where it's like a 3/4?
3/4. Like if you're going up a mountain and stuff, who am I kidding? But, there wasn't many there. This was
Mr. One pull-up if you're going up a mountain.
Sorry, Jack. Show me how to do pull-ups, lose a bit of weight. So yes, there wasn't much choice. There was a small little light for £10 to cook on. I went with so at the Nomadia stall, they had it's not a tripod, it was 4 legs, but the grill on top of that then the other grill was underneath as well.
Yes.
That was £100. So I'd have had that and just cooked on normal fire, I think.
Yeah.
Pots and pans. I found also one of the other bargains, a Snow Peak 900 small little frying pan and pan set, £10. Guess how much that is on eBay, because it's a discontinued thing. Guess how much that is?
I don't know.
£55.
Oh my God. Did you buy like all of them, and have you now got them on eBay?
Oh, there was only one, and and I broke my rule because it's aluminium, and I don't eat off aluminium, so
no,
don't cook with it anyway.
No.
But yeah, so that was a big one to sit on. There was a Nomadia. You didn't get a seat, did you?
I didn't get a chair. No, I've totally forgot. Totally forgot about. Actually, I didn't really see many chairs. I saw that rocking chair, but it was
the rocking chair.
Yeah,
it was big. That was big.
It was big, and it would have blown the budget. So no, I didn't get a chair. I'm sitting on the ground.
Yeah. So Nomadia, one of those small ones with 4 feet, Helinox type thing, but not
kind of blow away really easily.
£40. And then the cool box, the Igloo BMX 72, £100. So I didn't get power, didn't get storage either, but I got everything else. I came in over then, so I might have to say lose the light. Yeah, and actually, I also added with the pans. I added 30 quid on there because I wanted some knives and forks and stuff. So,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I came in at 511 to be honest, which I thought was all right, and I'd be
yeah.
quite happy with all of that stuff. Really interesting that things like the Van Gogh, it's the same price online as it was at the show. You know, they were there about showing stuff and what they
Wow,
do.
interesting.
Yeah, there was a couple of things that were even cheaper online, which, you know, online is it's great for consumers, but absolutely a nightmare for manufacturers of stuff where people are just undercutting each other and
Yeah,
whatever. But, you know, that's the, that's their problem, isn't it? As a consumer, yeah. So my stuff, not taking into account that the Igloo BMX said it was 600 quid. I only put it at what the show price was and the discount. So that was 249 to 100. So mine came in at 704.
so really, really quite
So
similar.
still, you know, 80 odd pounds worth of discount there.
Mm,
Sorry, 180 odd quid's
yeah,
worth of discount. Um, and yeah, you know, really good to sort of go around and just see what you like, what you go with. You know, set yourself a little target if you go into these kind of shows. What could you buy?
yeah.
Now, I'm going to ask you something that we've not rehearsed, listeners.
Oh no.
So if you've got your 500 quid, Tim, and you're going to that, what was the one thing that you'd buy? Not off your list necessarily, but if you were 500 quid, what would you get? I
I'd
think
have
it might be the same thing as me.
I'd have got a Terra Nova tent because
Oh,
the
would you?
yeah because the actual so for my list I picked a wild country because I was within a budget. The Terra Nova tents were also hugely discounted, so from like £800 down to like £350. So
Yeah.
I absolutely would have had a Terra Nova tunnel tent. They had a whole range.
It's had some beautiful
Yeah, I
ones.
couldn't pick one right now off the top of my head, but I absolutely would have had one of those. When you just feel the materials of them, it's such
Yeah.
high quality and so lightweight.
Yeah.
Terra Nova is absolutely worth the money, but when they were discounting them as much as they were there,
Yeah.
that'd have been the thing I'd have gone for.
Yeah. Yeah. No, really, really good.
What would you do?
So,
What would you have blown
well, we
blown your
we
money on?
we talked about it when we went to the caravan and camping show. We met the guys from Nomadia, sorry, at the time, and they had a power bank and fired
Yes.
shower for hot water. And it just looked the best bit of kit. And considering everything that I have got and that you have got, that'd be the one thing that I think, yeah,
Yeah.
that'd add to my camping experience to just know you could turn on, you know, as listeners to the show will know, he doesn't shower too often when he's out in the field. So maybe, you know, it's just one of those things because I don't have it. So maybe that's how I start to, you know,
Yeah.
get the ball rolling in regards to.
That was a brilliant piece of kit, and
Yeah,
we didn't know
really
that
is.
they were going to be at this show, and we kind of came around the corner and went, "Oh, it's the guys from Nomadia! Oh God, they've got this brilliant!" And we were kind of trying to show it off to the
Yeah,
people that we were with to kind of go,
yeah.
"This,"
They remembered us. He said, "Nice to see you again." So I
yeah,
was like,
which
"Oh,
is
brilliant."
good, which is really good, and actually, so from our camping away at Fire and Stars the other day. On our socials, Joe's been asking Joe, who bought all the Snow Peak kitchen to copy
Right.
to rival yours, has been asking
Oh,
about the.
are we going to have a camp kitchen camp off,
Oh,
Joe? Is that it?
I think absolutely we need to have that. She
Oh,
wants to go
okay.
to Fire and Stars, but she was asking me what the showers were like and whether they were in the pub or whether they were on the site. And of course, I had to kind of admit that. Well, to be honest, Joe, we just had a wet whitewash and a spray-on shower. We didn't go near them. So I've got to ask Andy what the showers
I can tell you. No, I can tell you.
Great.
So he said at the time that they were getting, within the next couple of weeks, getting water installed. So the site didn't have water, but the water board were putting that in. Currently, when we were there, if we wanted a shower, we had to walk to the pub and have a shower there. But I think later on this year, there will be running water there, whether or not they're putting showers in. But hey, Joe, you'd beat me hands down if go and have a look at the Namadea gas-powered electric bank power station that they've got. I've really murdered the name of it then, but once again, I mean, their show price was £100 off that, so it's I think if you go with, I think it was 480 on their website for the one that they were showing in the thing. They do one at 459 as well, but there was £100 off the higher priced one, which was decent. And if you get a power bank and a hot water shower that just goes off normal gas, propane isotope kind of screw-on gas canisters.
Isopropane, I think is the word you were looking for, but it's don't put isotopes.
Tim,
don't put isotopes in it, people.
Why? Well, I like to make myself sound important, so I was just saying all the words that sounded similar. Okay.
I'm just on their website to give the proper name for it. It's a portable water heater and shower system, and actually on their website they're letting you do a trial for 30 days on it, which is pretty cool.
I'd like to get my hands on that and have a play. And whether or not, having the availability to have your own shower when you're in the woods, whether or not I'd actually take that opportunity or not, still be a lazy arse.
Well, the thing is, you only take quite often. You don't, I'll change me socks and pants and my t-shirt every day, but my trousers and my fleece and things like that for being around the camp are going to be the same ones. If I have a shower and just put all those on, I'm still going to smell of smoke. So,
yeah,
well, as long as I kind of wash the important bits, then I think I'm probably doing all right. I've survived till now, and I'm 49. 49, people.
Not for much longer.
Oh, don't remind me. Don't remind me.
Tim, it's just a number. I hit that barrier 4 years ago now, and you know what? It's just a number.
You've drunk through it, haven't you, Ed?
Oh dear. So yeah, no, really excellent show. We met some brilliant people that we knew, met up with friends, saw some nice gear, had a good relaxed wander around. And the only bit that really annoyed me about it was that they could have given the whole hall over to it and given us a bit more space.
Yeah.
And I would say if there's any stall holders that are listening, you should definitely ask them to do that next year, because as a consumer walking around wanting to see stuff, it was really difficult, certainly in the morning. It wasn't until sort of after 3 o'clock that you could walk around easily, really.
Yeah.
So,
just literally the way that the organisers had set it up, it made it a challenge just to move around. And I don't know whether they were doing that to make it look busier than it was, but it was really busy. So they just needed to make the avenues between all the stalls, an extra foot wider would have been enough. A couple of feet.
And I think they're gridded up, aren't they? These big halls. And we went in first of all, and the Ordnance Survey stall was there, and they were queuing to the back of the hall, I think.
Yeah.
The people that, because they were doing a free spin on something, put them in the corner, put them near Steve Backshall. You can queue up for one and do the other one at the same time.
Absolutely.
Don't have it by the front door, for goodness sake. But I guess that they paid for that.
But there
position.
I remember that last year, and that had a massive queue on it last year. And this year, loads of different stalls were doing a spin to win thing, and there were queues all over the place. And actually, that just meant you couldn't walk around.
It really did hamper it all. So Yeah,
Spread it out. Fill the hall. Just fill the
it
hall.
wouldn't have been a problem if they hadn't have cornered us into half of the hall, if they'd have just thrown it open. Maybe they want to make it look fuller than it is, but, same amount of people are still coming.
Yeah.
So,
But it's a tiny gripe. Other than that, it was a great show. Really great to meet so many people, to make some new contacts for us, and hopefully there'll be some new things for episodes later in the season. We'll see what we can sort out in some conversations. But and we managed to buy, or theoretically buy, pretty much everything you'd need for a camping trip, all in one show at a reasonable discount. So you know what? I think overall, massive success.
Yeah, massive success. I think, don't just think about seeing new things. It is, it's a whole day out. The NEC, I think, is a great venue generally. There was also free admission into the bike show that came with the ticket. I chose the train because the parking was quite expensive, know. But, that is just, easier. So there's an awful lot to it. And I think that, set yourself that challenge. If you want some of the big ticket items, if you're thinking about a roof tent or something like that, you could definitely get some show prices there. They are giving those kind of discounts. So we saw it at the last show. We saw it at this one. So big ticket items, definitely. I'd be saving it for a show if I can do.
Yeah, but even low ticket items. So the sort of pan set that I got, it was £20 at the show. It's £25 retail. That's 20% off.
Yeah.
20% discount. It's great. So there's, whether you're big ticketing or small ticketing, go to a show and have a look at it. It's and as we've said previously, it gives you at least that opportunity to hold something in your hand and feel the quality of the build. And whether you buy it at the show or not, at least you've kind of touched it and decide. It gives you more to decide whether or not actually is it worth your time? Is it going to meet the requirements that you want to use it for? But I had a great time.
I had a great time, and you were hungover, but you did well. You did well.
I did.
You did well, sweetheart.
I had to go get a coffee and a bacon roll to start with. I was useless before I did any of that, and then I was all right. And then I was okay. I was okay.
You were fine, and you were chatty.
Yeah.
So, as always, we're going to remind you we are not sponsored by anybody. We're here for listener numbers. Please tag, share, interact. We're on Facebook. We're on TikTok. We're on X. We're on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook mainly. There's a big group there. There's lots of talks going on. Join us, share your pictures, where you want to go, where you've been. And like I say, those numbers are the things that help us continue to do this. So, cool. And while nobody wants little adverts every 10 minutes while you listen to me and the start to giggle, we're not going to do that. But like I say, we do need those numbers going in the right direction. So if you know somebody that likes camping, share and get them to subscribe.
Share the show. Shall we?
Are we going to give them a minute mindfulness, Tim? It's like, do we withhold it this week? Do we?
No. We're going to give them a minute mindfulness. And
that's
then,
my mischievousness coming out.
It's out all the time, Ed. I wish you.
Well, I've not took myself in.
I'm going to say I wish you'd put yourself away a little bit. Let's go to a minute mindfulness, and when you come back, I'm going to tell the listeners something that I bought at the show that is super cool, and I can't wait to try out. So we'll see you in a minute.
Welcome to the Casual Camping Minute Mindfulness. Let the sounds of nature take you back to the camping field.
That's lovely. Are you all tucked in there, Ed?
I am now.
You are now.
Although, it did make me look because it is in the morning. I'm in my pajamas. Who knew? Put the mouse back in the house.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Wondered why you turned your video off. I'm only joking, listeners. Don't be too literal.
Oh my word. Oh, there's only so much we can bleep out of this before we just have to start again. So I purchased something that I haven't tried it yet. They showed us a video of it while we were there. It's something similar to what I've seen on available in North America, and I tried to buy this thing that I'd seen and have it shipped, but they just wouldn't ship it to the UK. So these aren't that product, but there's something very, very similar, and they're from a company called EG Survival, and it's the ultimate match. And essentially, it looks like a roll of coins, but it's got a ring pull on the end, like a hand grenade, and it sets it on fire, like super hot fire that burns for 2 minutes, no matter what. They
had a video going in and out of water, and it was just flames coming out of it.
Yeah,
all the time. I think there was bubbles, but yeah.
And essentially, if you absolutely need a fire, you pull the ring on this, it sets it on fire, super, super hot. Even if your tinder isn't perfectly dry, it's going to get it going with this. And then the actual whole thing itself turns into like a hot core in the middle of your fire. So it will then stay hot for even longer. And I can't wait till we next go camping, because we are absolutely lighting a fire with one of these babies. It just looks great. So yeah, I was really, really pleased to buy that, and I think they were £15 for 3, and they were tenner on the show. So I bought them. What are you giggling at?
No, I mean, too many things about hot and ring and whatever. I was like, no, this is a family show. Don't.
You always have to go there.
No,
your brain just always goes there.
But then I was remembering that the guy was doing is like really important. This is an emergency product for, if you're in the wilds, you're up a mountain. I was like, what emergency? What, like you've drunk too many beers? You're 12 beers in and you can't start the fire. And he was like, well, yeah, that could be the emergency. Yeah. And then you were going, would it be good to, pull the thing and then throw it to each other? Can you play catch with it and stuff? And I was like, the poor fella, he's got this serious emergency thing. And there's you and I going like, what, you bought your wood from the local petrol station and it's green wood and you can't get it. That kind of emergency.
Yeah, I think a little part of him died at that point.
No, it was like, why? They don't pay me enough for these idiots. But that's the emergencies that we have.
Those are the real world emergencies. It's part of his embarrassment was the reason I bought one, because I thought he looks a little sad, so I'll buy some off him.
Sorry, Tim. Did your brother cost you money there?
No, genuinely, I think they're going to be a really fun thing to have a play with the next time we go camping, and light a fire with them and see what they're like. We don't advocate lighting things on fire and throwing it around. I refer you to the disclaimer that we'll play in a few seconds' time when we finish the episode. For legal reasons, we don't advise any of this stuff. And on that note, Ed, before you say anything else that gets us in trouble, shall we just stop?
I've been Ade.
And I've been Tim. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Casual Camping Podcast accepts no liability and does not officially recommend any products or endorse any techniques discussed in an individual podcast episode or shown on Casual Camping Podcast social media accounts. Individuals should make their own informed decision and risk assessment of any products or advice prior to any purchase or use.